Hi Capricorn, welcome to your September 2025 astrology forecast. We are in Virgo season with the sun traveling through Virgo in your ninth house. The ninth house is all about higher education, about travel, about foreign cultures, foreign opportunities, or anything that kind of expands your perspective as well as your horizons. So travel does that, and so does higher education, but also anything related to spirituality, higher wisdom, beliefs, religion, astrology, tarot, all of that kind of falls under the domain of the ninth house. And there is a lot of energy in this house for you this month, especially with the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse involving the ninth house Virgo for you. So we will get to all that energy later on in the reading. But we also have on the 1st of September, Saturn retrograding back in Pisces. Saturn and Neptune have been conjunct in Aries for the last couple of months, and they are in your fourth house. Fourth house is really our family, home, domestic lifestyle, as well as our emotional foundations and our beginning, our roots. So there has been a lot of focus in this area, but this focus may be related to a sense of confusion or disillusionment, disappointment. So there is some heavy, confusing energies surrounding your family and emotional life. And it's been here, it's been surfacing for the last couple of months, but this month the energy is shifting just a little bit. Saturn does not really enjoy being in Aries because Aries is the sign of Saturn's fall, so it feels extra depressed and unhappy in that sign. It has a difficult time functioning or performing its functions the way it wants to in Aries. Pisces, it is a better energy for Saturn. However, what makes it even a little better is the fact that in modern astrology, Pisces is ruled by Neptune. So when Saturn is in Pisces, there's just a bit of more flow and ease in the way Saturn and Neptune are working together. Aries, it was mostly conflict driven because Aries is a sign ruled by Mars. It's really very self-motivated, self-focused, and it really has a difficult time understanding or accepting perspectives and areas of experiences that are different from that is personal. So although the energy is a bit softer and there's more ease of communication, I still have a feeling that Saturn and Neptune traveling through your fourth house is likely to be bringing up a lot of emotions and feelings related to possibly your upbringing, as well as just the experiences that you've had as a child. Now, Saturn is all about what gives things form, structure. It has to do with responsibility. It is really a planet of that wise grandfather type of energy. It's, tied to tradition, traditional family values. It could even, speak to like strict parenting or strict but cold, detached sort of upbringing. And then when Neptune gets involved, there is this sense of like dissolving of family structures. So it may be bringing a lot of childhood issues back into like your current life. Possibly in order to, bring in opportunities for healing, but also in order to kind of move you away from what is familiar and have you shift and transform your life and your standards, expectations related to family, to a better place, because Pisces is a very hopeful, spiritual, that higher love type of energy. So there is this idealism related to, you know, the type of family that you may want, or type of values that you wish will instilled in you, that kind of brings the type of emotional security and stability that you crave. One of the reasons why I am saying this is because the Saturn and Neptune are currently sextile to Pluto and Uranus. Now, Pluto and Uranus are trying to one another. So the common goal that they are working towards in a trine aspect is creating some sort of permanent change, shift, and transformations in your life. So when they are working together, but also making sextile aspect to that Saturn and Neptune act as kind of the apex that the energy works itself through. So it's kind of using Neptune to express its desires, but also to, you know, work through issues in order to kind of work towards whatever end goal that they have. And Pluto is currently retrograde in Aquarius in your second house. Uranus is in Gemini in your sixth house. So when these two are in a trine aspect, they're working together. They're supporting one another towards the same type of end goal. And the similarities that they have is bringing some sort of permanent change into your life. Now, Pluto is currently retrograde in Aquarius in your second house, and Uranus is in Gemini in your sixth house. So they're kind of tying in themes around money, and work, sacrifice, service, that sort of energies. And they're trying to make this sort of transformation or change in your life through family values and the type of, you know, domestic life that you should strive towards. So these are pretty heavy, complicated, pressured energy. So it may have been hard to deal with for the last couple of months because they have been in effect for that long. With Saturn and Neptune on your fourth house, I am sensing some sort of instability or a sense of not being able to rely on your family for security and sense of safety. Neptune, like I said, dissolves whatever it touches. So it just feels like maybe, you know, when you were growing up, your parents weren't the reliable type of parents that gave you kind of like the upper hand to succeed in life, because the Pluto in second house is really trying to create change in your relationship with money, especially your beliefs around it, as well as your values and what you kind of your preconceived notions related to money and wealth. The eclipses also, well, let's get into that actually. So September 7th is our lunar eclipse. This is when the moon in Pisces is lining up with the north node in Pisces. This is happening in your third house, and it's opposite the sun in Virgo, which lines up with the south node in Virgo. The third house and ninth house axis is really bringing into focus the lower education versus higher wisdom. So in smart thinking, you know, we might, if we tie back in the financial things, then we can say that, you know, the lower form can be like, you know, we all believe that in order to be wealthy, we have to work really hard, especially if we are like the first generation that's kind of building that wealth and it wasn't just handed down to us. There's a lot of sacrifice that's involved. So that's kind of like the third house energy, like related to Pisces belief Whereas the ninth house is talking about that higher wisdom. So maybe like, Virgo has to do with the nervous system. So working with your nervous system to create different bodily and emotional responses to money and wealth and how you perceive it. There's some sort of a need that needs, or there's a need to let go of some sort of belief that you have that's shaping your horizons. I really believe that, those higher sort of wisdoms that's kind of like ingrained in you do really shape what you believe is possible in your life, and therefore influence your reality. So with the Saturn and Neptune energy and the lunar eclipse around these houses, I'm thinking that you may even feel like wealth, financial stability, family love, reliability, attracting maybe even a partner or establishing a family that's like close-knitted and reliable and safe is kind of like too good to be true for you. So I'm getting that sort of energy. I'm not sure how it lands on you, but that's, I mean, the lunar eclipses are really powerful energies. So if there is any sort of messages here that resonate, your chart is really urging you to kind of reevaluate what sort of experiences in your childhood really shaped your perspective that surround money and family values. So that's the September 7th lunar eclipse. And then we have the solar eclipse happening on the 21st. And this is kind of like the second edition of this ongoing energy. The solar eclipse is again happening in Virgo, but this time it's at the sun and moon are meeting up at 29 degrees of Virgo. So it is still your ninth house energy, especially with that south node still at 18 degrees of Virgo. But the sun and moon are trying to bring something new related to your work, career, and public reputation because it's closer to that midheaven and 10th house energy than the ninth. So it's kind of letting go of the beliefs, the things related to the ninth house, the education, whatever it is. It's kind of letting go of that in order to move you forward. Now, what can you actually take from the wisdom, the learnings, the education, and put it into a practical action to make certain changes in your life. The next day, on the 22nd, the sun does move into Libra, and Mercury and Moon are also moving into your 10th house in Libra with the sun. So a lot of energy shifts happen on the 22nd. The focus is on career, public reputation, related to, what you believe you have to do in order to be successful. So possibly this month or this coming year, there are opportunities for you to make career shifts that bring in more financial stability in a sense of wealth into your life. Because the sun, when it enters Libra, it is trining Pluto and Uranus, and they're all in air signs. The sun is also opposing that Saturn and Neptune energy. So there is this interconnected energy of like your perspectives, beliefs related to family, wealth, what you have to do on a day-to-day basis in order to accomplish whatever it is that you really want, but you believe is like almost too good to be true for you, or is unlikely. So this month, Virgo season is all about harvest. It's really asking you to take stock of what has happened so far, this year, and to reevaluate your intentions, your goals, directions in order to decide where you need to put your energy to continue to develop or improve or make efficient and be productive. So all that sort of energy. That's kind of what I'm getting for you for these eclipses this month. Now on the 22nd as well, Mars is moving into Scorpio. It's been in Libra in your 10th house, so there may have been some sort of frustrations, wanting to go in one direction but being pulled in the opposite direction related to career last month. But when it moves into Scorpio, it is traveling through your 11th house. There's a lot more energy that you have in order to connect with the right people, to be part of the right communities. You just have the energy to go after what you want. This Mars is fueled by that Pluto in Aquarius. So you really have the resources to find the right communities, the right type of support system to help you in your journey to basically change the direction of your life. The Saturn and Neptune energy, again, is going to be here for a few months. It's not over yet. It is going to go direct again, go back into Aries, and then retrograde again. So this energy is really going to give you that time to set goals related to what it is that you really wish for your own emotional foundation and the type of lifestyle that you want to build for yourself. I hope that made sense. Let me know if any of these messages resonate for you. And I hope the best of luck for you, Capricorn, and see you in October. Bye.